Welcome to the Fall 2020 UEWM Open House. This is our last open house before the semester starts on September 8th. So this is a good time for you to apply and start your registration for the fall semester. My name is Clark Harris. I am the Dean of Academics.
Welcome to the open house of UEWM's admission, and this could be your beginning of your journey becoming an outstanding traditional Chinese medicine doctor. My name is Eric Tao. I am the president of the university. Just a little bit about myself. My doctoral study is with UC Irvine, and I am one of the first researchers to bring mammogram to the digital age. So although I'm not a traditional Chinese doctor, but I'm passionate about how do we use medicine to improve people's life. I want to talk a little bit about our university. First, you know which university, a large university in traditional Chinese medicine, have the highest passing rate of the certification so you can be a traditional Chinese doctor? Well, no surprise, it is University of East-West Medicine. Our passing rate among the larger program are always at the top. So that's the first thing you have to think about which school you want to go into. The second is that we've been running the school over 20 years. We have close to 1,000 graduates working as acupuncturist or traditional Chinese medicine field all over California and in many other states. So when you join the program, not only you will learn from our wonderful faculty and great curriculum, you also have to build that great connection with other wonderful doctors. The school also have a lot of innovation. We put a lot of our courses hybrid or online, especially during the COVID-19. So not only we are a traditional Chinese medicine school, we also enjoy the innovation and technology that make your and all our students' experience very, very enjoyable. We do apply the advanced technology. And definitely when you want to think about having a learning experience or a degree in traditional Chinese medicine, you have to think about how does university help you to become successful after you pass the degree and pass the certification test. We have an outstanding and popular clinic right in our campus. So with your study, of course, you have to do quite a bit of intern following our outstanding supervisor to learn. But also when you finish, if you decide not to open your clinic right away, you can be our doctor in our clinic to build your reputation and build your knowledge and your patient group. So with all these wonderful passing rate, very affordable tuition, outstanding faculty, and our passion for traditional Chinese medicine, our passion for student success and graduate success, I totally convinced that UEWN has the best program for you. So again, welcome to the open house. And again, hopefully this is the beginning of your journey becoming a traditional Chinese medical doctor. Thank you, Clark.
Thank you, Dr. Tao. So to tell you a little bit about myself, I am the Dean of Academics now. I am also a graduate from University of East-West Medicine. I finished both my master's and my doctorate degree here, so I know the program from inside and out. I am always available for you whenever you have any questions. If you need to understand how to progress through the program, please come and see me. That's well, for your first semester, you want to make sure you talk to admissions, but once you get past your first semester, then you're definitely going to want to come and see me. At least, in my opinion, you should see me as much as once per semester or more frequently as needed, and no less than once per year. Come and see me, and I'll be able to help make sure that you understand your path for your successful progress through the program. So with that said, I would like to introduce Sharon. Sharon is the director of our admissions department, and Viviana. So please, Sharon, go ahead.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sharon Zhou. I'm the director of the admissions. I have worked at UEWM more than 7 years. I received my Western medicine degree from the School of Medicine, Southeast University. I received my Chinese medicine degree from UEWM. Now I'm a licensed acupuncturist. I'm practicing at the UEWM Acupuncture Medical Center as well. I will be very happy to share my experience in studying Chinese medicine and Western medicine with you. So welcome to UEWM.
My name is Viviana, and I assist Sharon in the admissions office, and I help prospective students apply and help them through the process and also navigate through the university. I am also in the master's program pursuing my acupuncture license, and I would like to enter the field of sports medicine. So it's an exciting place to be. Thank you for being here.
Okay, so this slide here tells us a little bit more about the school. In order to do business in California and teach Chinese medicine in the United States, we need to be authorized and accredited by many different institutions. The first of which is the Bureau of Private Post-Secondary Education, or better known as the BPPE. They allow us to do business in California. The ACOM, or the Accreditation Commission of Acupuncture and Oriental Medicine, is the accrediting body that allows us to teach Chinese medicine. They're the ones that accredit every single school in the United States. So all schools that are accredited must go through ACOM. And then we have the California Acupuncture Board. They're the ones that they license acupuncture in California. And so when you take the licensing exam, it will be taken through the California Acupuncture Board, and we must be approved by them in order to offer this program as well. And then if you decide that you want to leave California, the NCCAOM, or the National Certification Commission of Acupuncture and Oriental Medicine, they're the ones that do the exam and certification for all other states except for California. Also, we are able to issue I-20 visas for international students, and we are authorized to provide federal financial aid. This slide here is showing us the list of all schools that took the exam between October of 2018 and June of 2019. It's not very clear, but if you see down towards the bottom, you'll see the University of East-West Medicine. We had over 60 students take it for the first time with a 94% pass rate during that time period. You can see the other schools there. This is taken directly from the California Acupuncture Board website. So if you want to go and see the most current one, there is actually one that's been released more recently that is from June 2019 until the end of 2019. So this is looking at the NCCAOM map for those of you that are considering leaving California to practice, or if you want to work at the Veterans Hospital, the VA, they require that you maintain certification. So if you can see on this map, so you have 4 different colors. You have it's kind of a gray color for 3 states. Those 3 states are the only 3 that do not have licensure in the United States. They don't have any regulation. So that's Alabama, Oklahoma, and South Dakota. And you see California in orange. We're the only state that provides our own licensing exam. And then every other state in we'll call that another shade of blue, gray, and then more of a teal color, or I'll call that blue. So that shows the states where NCCAOM has 2 levels of way that you can participate in them. The first and easiest one is just to take the exam. In some states like Texas and Florida, they only require you to take the exam. And so once you take the exam, all you need is the grade from your exam in order to apply at those states. And then the ones in the darker color, those states actually require that you maintain certification. Certification is not licensure. Certification allows you to apply or maintain a license in a state. So the states that require certification, the way that works is every 2 years, you will renew your license for that state. And you must maintain your certification, which is every 4 years. So the NCCAOM has a 4-year cycle, whereas all states that I am aware of have a 2-year cycle for the licensure. Now, in order to maintain your license, you must continue education. So that means they call them CEUs, continuing education units. So every 2 years, you must take additional classes outside of your degree. So and this is the way it works for all medical professionals in the United States. MDs have to do it, nurses have to do it, physical therapists have to do it, chiropractors have to do it, massage therapists have to do it, and acupuncturists must do it also. So this is something that is part of the maintaining a license in the United States, even after you have your degree and you have your initial licensure. See how there's 5 states in red? Well, 2 of those states have since, looks like Wyoming and Kansas have both started having legislation for their license, which they did not have before. So that's why we went to the website to get the more current map. So many of you, when you're looking at getting an acupuncture license and starting your career, one of your concerns will be, how much money can I make? Well, first off, there's almost 40,000 licensed acupuncturists in the United States. As of 2018, it's grown a little bit probably since then. You can expect that about half of those are divided between California and New York. And then the rest of that 50% would be scattered throughout the entire United States. So the 2 most popular states for acupuncture are California and New York. We also see here that on average throughout the United States, you can expect to make around $74,000. If you work for a hospital like Kaiser, you can make significantly more, around $135,000. And then if you're working per hour, whether it's part-time or full-time, you can expect to make somewhere around $34 per hour. I will tell you though, your first year out of school, it won't be that high for the most part. If you do go and work in somebody else's clinic, most likely you'll be making around $25 per hour your first year out. But once you have some experience, you can go up pretty quickly. And if you open up your own practice, there's room to make even a lot more money than that, especially if you're good at managing a business. As you can see here, many different universities are starting to have acupuncture in their hospitals, such as Stanford and UCLA, Yale, and UC San Francisco. It is becoming very popular throughout the United States, and even Medicare is starting to take to pay insurance towards low back pain. One of the things to keep in mind, that one of the things I really like about California especially, is that we are considered primary care physicians. So even as 4 in 10 adults in the US are starting to use alternative medicine, or complementary medicine as some people call it, which includes acupuncture and herbal medicine, the Affordable Care Act started to ensure that we would get insurance payments. So as a licensed acupuncturist in California, we are what we call primary care physicians or general practitioners. That means that patients can come directly to see us. They don't need to go through a chiropractor or an MD in order to get recommended to have acupuncture. They can come straight to see us, and we can collect insurance on them from the very first day without any needing of another person to get between us and the patient. So at the University of East-West Medicine, we offer Master of Science in Traditional Chinese Medicine, or an MSTCM. We also offer non-degree training as well as open classes. We offer Tai Chi, Baduanjin, QIGONG workshops. You can audit classes, and we do offer continuing education units, or those CEUs that I was talking about. In order to maintain your license in California, you have to have 50 CEUs or 50 hours of continuing education classes every 2 years. And so we do offer those here at the school at a very affordable rate for alumni. So this is a nice little pictogram for you showing how you can progress through the education for TCM. On the bottom left, you see that in order to apply to the school, you must have already finished 2 years of college, which can either be 60 semester units or 90 quarter units with a minimum GPA of 2.0. Now, keep in mind, this can be at any community college, any accredited school in the United States, as long as you already have the 60 semester units or the 90 quarter units. You don't have to have a title already. It doesn't have to be an AA degree. It doesn't have to be a bachelor's. As long as you have those units, you can apply to the program. And then it can take you as little as 3 years and a maximum of 8 years to finish the program if you go part-time. But it's very easy with our flexible schedule, including nights and weekend classes. We can easily finish the program in about 3 years or 9 semesters. We have 3 semesters per year or 3 trimesters, depending on how you want to think about it. Each one is about 15 weeks. We have anywhere from 2 to 3 week break between semesters. Now, once you finish your degree and you're able to apply to the licensing exam. Now, taking the licensing exam does not guarantee you a license. You must also pass a criminal background check. So if you have any strong criminal background, then you may want to talk to us more detail to see if you would be eligible to get a license, or you can even talk to the California Acupuncture Board to find out. That is something to consider. Now, let's assume that you have a clean background check and you have passed all your classes and graduated from the program, and then you pass your license exam and you're able to get your license. There's multiple ways that you can practice Chinese medicine in California and most states as well. The first way that most people think of practicing acupuncture is by opening up your own practice. Now, you can do that by opening up a small clinic somewhere. You could go and treat people in their homes. There's lots of different ways that you could do it, but you would basically be your own boss. And then if you wanted to go and work for someone else, you can also do that, work in somebody else's clinic. You can go and work in hospitals, and you can also teach. Those are your various ways to be able to apply your license. Now, once you finish your master's and you decide that you want to go on and get more advanced training, you can get a doctorate. We are currently teaching out the DAON program, but we do anticipate opening up a professional doctorate program in the near future. And so the DOM was 2 to 4 year program, and the professional doctorate program is a 1 to 2 year program, basically, maybe 3 years maximum. That will be something to keep in mind for the near future. Hopefully we'll have more news for you soon about that. This lays out the program into 9 semesters. And on average, you need, if you have not taken any of your basic sciences yet, you will be able to, you need 174 units to finish the entire program. That's what the program is, 174 units. So if you want to finish in 3 years, you need to take on average 19.3 units per semester. If you already have your basic sciences at whatever your undergrad was with community college or a 4-year institution, wherever you took those classes, you can transfer those into the program, and you will not have to take them again. And so that means that you will only need around 156 units or so, or 50, and that takes you about 17 units on average per semester in order to finish the program in 3 years. So it's very easy to do. 12 units is considered full-time. So anything over 12 units is considered full-time. Yeah, so this map lays out every single class that is required for the master's program. You see at the top left, it's talking about acupuncture. And then it'll have, the second line is foundations and diagnosis. The third line is herbology and formulas. The fourth line is your Western medical sciences. And then the fifth line is your clinic. And then you have your basic sciences below that. Those 7 basic sciences, psychology, biology, chemistry, physics, Western medical science, or Western medical terminology, human anatomy, and human physiology. Those 7 classes, if you have already taken those, you do not need to take them again. You can just transfer those into the program. The bottom section shows you all the classes that have no prerequisite. It means that you can take those anytime during the program. You do not need to worry about having any classes all ready to take those. You can take those at the beginning or the very end. It doesn't matter, first semester, last semester. So something to keep in mind, though, when you're looking at this map is, if we go to the top line, the acupuncture line, you'll see that there is an arrow and a plus sign. So between acupuncture 1 and acupuncture 2, you have to follow the arrows. So any arrow that only goes one way, that means you must take the class before it in order to take the one after it. Unless you see a plus sign. If you see a plus sign, that means that you can take those two classes together if they are offered during the same semester. So it is possible that if Acupuncture 1 and Acupuncture 2 were being offered, you could take them during the same semester. And the same goes for Acupuncture 2 and Acupuncture 3. But then when you see Acupuncture 4, there's a, between 3 and 4, there's a bidirectional arrow. The arrow goes both ways. So that means that you could take 4 before you take 3, or you could take them together because there's a plus sign. Now you see that once you get to Acupuncture 5, so there is no plus sign, there is only a one-way arrow between 4 and 5. So that means that you must have completed 1, 2, 3, and 4 before you can move on to 5. But once again, you see there is a bidirectional arrow between Acupuncture 5 and 6 with a plus sign. So you could take Acupuncture 6 before taking Acupuncture 5, or you could take them together. You know, what I love about this map is it shows everything clearly. So as long as you understand everything on the map, then all you have to do is cross off the class. Once you've taken the class and passed it with a C or better, so you must be a minimum grade of a C in order to get credit for the class. Now between CL4 and CL5, or Clinic 4 and Clinic 5, we have just below the arrow there, you see the Comprehensive Exam 1. That is a test that requires everything that you have learned through acupuncture, foundations, diagnosis, herbs and formulas, Western medicine, clean needle technique, all of it. Everything that you've learned, including anatomy and physiology, can be on that test. That's to make sure that you're ready for senior level intern in the clinic, which starts at Clinic 5. So we have 2 comprehensive exams at our school. One is between Clinic 4 and Clinic 5 called the Comprehensive 1 exam. And then we have one at graduation. It's called, we call it the Comprehensive 2 exam, but you can also think of it as a graduation exam. So in order to finish the program and prove that you've learned everything, you will have to take another comprehensive exam. Now, one of the advantages of the University of East West Medicine is both of these comprehensive exams are working towards preparing you to pass the board exam. They are both 200 question exams, very similar to the board exam. So ideally, if you are able to pass the comprehensive exams, then you will be well prepared to pass the board exam. Let's see, the next line up, I've already said is the basic sciences. So you need those to get into Clinic 3. And you can have already taken them before even starting the program if you already took your sciences at another school. And then the bottom one, like I said, no prerequisites. You can take those anytime throughout the entire program. What I recommend you do, many of those classes are actually pretty fun. So anytime that you feel like you've been studying too hard and you're too much up in your head and you want to get into your body, you could take classes like Tai Chi Chuan, or you can take Qigong, or you can take Tuina massage. All these different ones are more movement type classes or physical classes that will help you to understand the medicine and other than a book way. Very much recommend taking those when you feel like you're just too tired of looking at your books and those are offered. Go ahead and take them, and they will help you to understand the medicine in a different way. So at the University of East West Medicine, we have many different student services. We have online and on-campus classes, of course. With the COVID, all of our classes are online at present. And we will see what's going to happen in January. But for now, all classes are online until the end of the semester, although we do have on-campus for clinic, although first semester students are not ready for clinic. And hopefully by next year, we will be back to normal, or as close to normal as we can get. We also offer a library, very nice library, with lots and lots of books in both Chinese and English. We also have alumni services. So many times our graduates, when they open up their clinic, they frequently come and talk to us and ask us about any new graduates that we might recommend to work in their clinic. They're looking to start their practice but don't necessarily want to open up their own practice. We also can help you find jobs in other places. Many times people will advertise to our school that they have job availabilities at their clinic or their hospital, wherever they may be. And we also offer, like I said, discounted prices for continuing education units for our graduates. Some of the student benefits that we have are you get a discounted treatment in the clinic. This is something that I actually highly recommend all of our students to do. It's something that I did when I took the program. I was extremely tired, I was burned out. I worked really hard to get to the program, and I was having a hard time studying and remembering stuff because I was just so tired. Even when I looked over my books, I opened my book, and 5 or 10 minutes later, I was falling asleep in my books. So I went and got treatment. And this is what I recommend all of our students to do. It helps you to understand the medicine even better, to see how it feels, and to see how it improves your quality of health. It helped me tremendously. I went to get regular treatments for the first year. Before I was able to be an intern in the clinic, I went and got treatment every week for a year to improve my health, and it worked. I am the man I am today because I actually used the medicine to make myself better. And this is something that I recommend that all students do because it helps you to gain confidence in what the medicine can do. It also helps you see the limitations of the medicine. So we're not trying to say that Chinese medicine is the best medicine in the whole world and you never, ever, ever need anything else. We are saying that it's an excellent medicine, and as you understand how to use it, you'll be able to see both its strengths and its limitations. And during the program, you'll learn how to work with other healthcare professionals so that you know when to recommend out. We also offer externships to China. You can go and it's usually a short program, 2 or 3 weeks, going to observe how they work in their hospitals in China and their universities in China. We also offer online free Wi-Fi and free parking at the campus. And like Dr. Tao was saying, when you graduate from the program, it is possible for you to continue on as a licensed acupuncturist in our clinic and start to build your own practice and build your own patient base so that you can eventually open up a place at wherever you live or close by, and that will make it so that your business has the opportunity to be much more successful without worrying about whether or not you have enough patients yet. Because many people, they open their practice without any patients and they just hope that somebody will come to their door. Well, if you are able to take advantage of the working in the clinic, you can build up 5 or 10 regular patients, and then you know for sure that when you open up your practice that you have at least some money coming in before you start. So these are some pictures of our campus, and on the top left there you see from a seminar and presentation from when we opened up the Chung Acupuncture. We'll have another slide after this one. I'll show you more about that. And on the top right is in one of our treatment rooms, you have a patient there receiving some acupuncture. Bottom left is our herbal room. And then bottom right is a group of students after a Tai Chi competition at Berkeley. So we do participate in the annual Tai Chi competition at Berkeley, usually in March. So like I was saying, we are the heritage site for Chung Acupuncture. Now, on the top right, you see the grandson cutting the red ribbon. The grandfather is actually the author of the book that we use for acupuncture. It's the required book for most schools in order to take the licensing exam. So that'll be the same book that you study in the program. And then the bottom slides are there talking about, they've given their lectures and introducing a little bit more about the heritage of Chung Acupuncture. So these are 4 pictures of our Chinese program faculty. You have the top left is Professor Li Zhengwang, and then you have Wang Guozhi on the top right, and Zhang Li on the bottom left, and Dai Laoshi on the bottom right. And Dr. Dai, he actually teaches in both the Chinese and the English program. So he will be your herbal instructor regardless of which language program you're studying. You see 4 of the English professors. That's me on the top left. And then you have Dr. Winters. He's a Western medicine physician who teaches at our school, teaches most of our Western medicine classes. And Dr. Grace Wathen there on the bottom left, she teaches psychology and patient care. And then you have Dr. Oscar Hernandez on the bottom right. He teaches TWENA in the English program, and also he will be teaching Diagnosis 1 and 2. This map here, this shows you, with the graphs here, it shows you different understanding of programs in the Bay Area. It breaks down the price list, and the bar graph at the bottom is probably the most useful for understanding. We are on the far left in the blue. We are the least expensive school in the entire Bay Area. And like we were saying before, we also are always among the highest pass rate in the board exam. Anywhere from 89 to 94% is pretty standard for us. And what that basically means is, as long as you study what you learn at the school and you continue to study after you graduate, this I think is why some students do not pass the board exam, is that they think that just because they've been through the program that they don't have to continue studying. And I promise you, you do need to continue studying at least until you get your license. And then, like we said before, you have continuing education units. So you will always continue to learn Chinese medicine as long as you maintain your license. But yeah, so we are the least expensive with a very high pass rate in the entire Bay Area. Why enroll at UEWM? Of course, I mentioned briefly our experience in qualified educators, but I didn't mention exactly how experienced they are. Now, we have many professors that are 30, 40 years experience, clinical experience, you know, especially our supervisors in clinic. They've been treating patients for decades. And there's something to be said about that. When you study under them, you see their experience and you feel their confidence, and you learn from them so many things that you just wouldn't imagine until you actually are there and you're able to ask them questions. They're very enthusiastic about what they teach, and so they're able to answer your questions in detail, and they're very excited to be able to help you learn as much as you possibly can. We do also offer flexible hours. We have a daytime, evening, and weekend schedules. Mostly in the English program, it's nights and weekends. In the Chinese program, we do offer weekday, daytime classes. You can work at your own pace. Like I said, it's a minimum of 3 years or 9 semesters and a maximum of 8 years. So I do have classmates that started with me, and even though they were working a full-time job, it depends on you as a student. Some people have more energy than others. So I saw some of my classmates work full-time as consultants for Google and still be able to handle a full-time study schedule and still finish in 3 years. But there are some people that do take more than 6 years, but most students will finish in 3 to 4 years and maybe 5 years. It's pretty, 3 and 4 is the most common that we see at the school here. We do have hands-on clinical training. We have to have 960 hours worth of clinical training, and you must treat 350 patients minimum. Most students that actually end up treating more than that. I myself treated around 500 while I was in clinic, and I think that's pretty normal for any student that is really dedicated to learning. I think it's pretty easy to get 400 or 500 patients, no problem. Affordable tuition rate. We do charge around $46,000 for the entire program. I can tell you also that for your books, a lot of students might worry about how much books will cost. Mandatory required books, maybe around $500 maximum. Some students, especially in the Chinese program, your books are a lot less expensive, so you can expect to pay even less than that for your books. We do, once again, have a high exam pass rate, 94% between October of 2018 and June of 2019. Excellent alumni networking. Like I was saying, once you graduate, you're not alone. We're still here to help you be successful in your practice even after you graduate. So remember, the minimum requirements are 2 years of college before you can start, with a minimum of 60 semester units or 90 quarter units, and a minimum GPA of 2.0 from an accredited institution or approved foreign university. So most of our documents now, in order to apply and register and everything, is all online. We have an online application. There is a non-refundable application fee of $60 for US residents, or if you're an international student, it's $100. You must provide your official transcripts from your previous education. And that includes, if it's a foreign education, you will need to get that evaluated. There are a couple of institutions that will do that for you outside of the university. You'll need to send that to them. But you do need to provide your official transcripts no later than the end of the first semester for international students and before you start for domestic students. Proof of citizenship and residency, whether it's through a passport or a driver's license, something to show to prove who you are. That's a legal document. Passport size photos, your current resume. You need 2 letters of recommendation, and that is available online to fill out. This can be from anybody that knows you, as long as they know you well enough to be able to say whether they think you will be successful as a student. Then they can write a letter of recommendation for you. They do not need to be in the medical field. And then we need a 500-word statement of purpose from you, also available online. And that is basically telling us why you want to learn Chinese medicine and what you hope to accomplish by learning it and how you want to use it in your life. If you are an international student or your education is not from an English-speaking institution, then you will need to provide your TOEFL score or your English evaluation score from the IELTS. This is required prior to enrollment, and we'll go into that a little bit more in the following slide. Also, if you're an international student, you will need to prove that you have funds in the bank account of minimum $15,000, and you will need to have your signed enrollment agreement and school performance fact sheet prior to registration. That's the document that we'll provide to you that you need to sign off on. So all documents are required to be in English and submitted within 2 weeks prior to the start of the semester or within 2 weeks of your application, with the exception of the official transcript, which should be submitted no later than the end of the semester for international students. Yeah, and in order to apply for financial aid, you need to be a domestic student, either a citizen or a resident. So here's those English requirements that I was talking about. Now the TOEFL needs a total of 61 with a 20 speaking and a 17 listening. The IELTS needs a 6 overall, which could be spoken 6.5 and listening 6. And if you already have 2 years of university in the United States or England or somewhere like Canada or Australia, anywhere that they speak English as the primary language, then you do not need to worry about your English requirement. It's already covered with your 2 years of undergrad. So here's some of the links. I recommend you take a photo of this page. This will show you where the online application is. It'll show you the class schedule, class registration, course transfer. So we do offer, like I said earlier, we have certificate programs and extra classes and Tai Chi and Baduanjin, Qigong workshops. We offer an ongoing elective class that's open to both students and to the public each semester. It's $220 for 15 classes. It includes 2 hours of training each week. And in that class, you can go and whatever issues you have, if you have low back pain, knee pain, arthritis, insomnia, stress, whatever it is that you want to focus on, you bring it to the class and we can help you focus on your issues and find exercises that will help you with your issues. So here's some more photos of our school. The top left is from the outside. And then you see our parking lot on the top right. And then one of our classrooms on the bottom left. And then the Great Hall or the auditorium on the bottom right. Auditorium is where we do all of our graduation ceremonies, our New Year's parties, our guest seminars are held there. Tai Chi and Qigong classes are held there. That's one of my favorite rooms in the building. That's where we can go and just either celebrate life or exercise or have fun together. Top left there is the picture from the back of the building. That's the entrance into our clinic. And then on the top right is a picture of our herbal room. We have over 300 individual herbs in there that you can use to make custom formulas. And that is my favorite room in the building, because when you walk into that room, it just smells so healthy and so wonderful that it automatically makes you smile. It just makes your heart sing when you walk into that room. And then the bottom left, you have that's the hallway where all of our treatment rooms are. We have 9 or 10 treatment rooms. And then the bottom right, that's the reception area for our patients. This link here is the Handbook of COVID-19 and includes Western medicine and TCM treatments. So the Handbook of COVID-19 prevention and treatment, compiled according to clinical experience. Experts and teams have returned from the front lines fighting the pandemic in China. So it's a really good resource for you to see about the COVID-19 and how it's treated, including with Chinese medicine. I think that it's extremely important that people understand that this is one of the most rewarding fields that you can be in, because you do get to improve your health while you're going through the program. And then once you're finished, you know how to help yourself, you know how to help your friends, you know how to help anybody in your family. I mean, it's really a super useful practice. It's one of the most useful things you can imagine, and it will help you to live a longer and healthier life. Now, with that said, another thing that you mentioned that I really want to reiterate is that I agree with you. I think it's important to get into the clinic as early in the program as you can, because when you are learning in the classroom, it's all book learning and maybe a little bit of lecture, and you know, you might participate a little bit in the class with discussion, but when you get in the clinic, you're actually applying the medicine that you learned in the classroom, in your books, and through lectures. And so you get to start using it. And the sooner you get to start using it, the more it'll make sense to you, and the more that it'll stick in your brain where you won't forget it as easily. If you wait until later in the program to start your clinic, then a lot of the stuff you learned early on, you may have already started to forget. And so by taking clinic and classes at the same time, it really helps to make the learning stronger. And it's fun, you know, and you learn so much from your other classmates as well. You think that you might only learn from your teachers, but you actually learn a lot from each other, and you share with each other while you go through the program. You know, some person might remember something that you didn't remember, and they say, oh, you remember this? And you're like, no, and they use it on you, or you use it on them, or however, and you're sharing information back and forth. Also, many of our students, you know, one of the things that I loved about going through the program, being an American, living in the United States, 80% of our program is Chinese. Most of our students come from China and Taiwan, and many of them actually already have some training, and they bring over things that they learned while they were studying or practicing in China, and they share it with you. So like some of them have already had a full career in Tuina, and then they come over and they show you some techniques that they use that they really like. Or, you know, others have already worked in hospitals in China, and they share stuff that they know. It's really one of the things that I love about how authentic the training is at our school. Our teachers are extremely well educated and experienced, and many of them do come from strong traditions in China, and many of our students as well. And so for me, it was the closest thing that I could have asked for to actually going to China and studying there. I didn't have to go and learn Chinese though, even though I did learn a lot of Chinese while I was in the program, at least herb names and point names. But if you really want to have an authentic experience outside of China, I think that it would be very, very hard to beat the University of East-West Medicine. Now, like we were talking about with some movement classes with Tai Chi and Qigong.
Our program, Tai Chi, Qigong, are required classes, but not tested in the license, exam. And that is a mistake because Tai Chi philosophy is based for Chinese medicine, from the beginning. And then in your practice, you use acupuncture, you use a massage, and you use a massage, whatever. You all based on theories. But then when you are by yourself to try to stay away from sickness, what do? Then you're going to apply Tai Chi philosophy in your life. To do the right movement, action, and to control your life activity. Okay, so Tai Chi means the way, means what? Do the right way. Now for this class, we have one Qigong and then one Tai Chi chain, and then there's another one called optional, which is an elective course called Therapy Tai Chi, because you probably will be able to help the patient to check their lifestyle and make their mind clear how to manage their life activity to balance. Just like El Camino Hospital now, they have a lifestyle clinic. As a Chinese medical doctor, you should be general doctor, family doctor. You should be able to help them correct their lifestyle and watch all the necessary knowledge, the diet, and then control your emotion and conduct a balanced life. In 1988, I was much younger.